No one was ready to hear this. When HYBE finally spoke, the fandom world changed in an instant. What really happened between Jungkook and Taehyung? Why was only Jungkook sent to America while Taehyung was left behind? Is this just a misunderstanding, or is there a deeper reason that has been hidden? And what most makes the hearts of the army torn is the relationship between the two not what we think so far. No sound. There is no wind. No sign. But then, the world suddenly stopped spinning when one sentence came out of HYBE's representative's mouth in public. We decided that only Jungkook will leave for the United States. And in an instant, everything went dark. The soldiers were speechless. Their eyes were fixed on the screen. Their lips were silent, but their hearts cried out in silence. What does that mean? Where's Taehyung? Isn't this a collaborative project that has been talked about for a long time involving the two of them? Don't these two, Jungkook and Taehyung, always seem like two inseparable sides of a coin? Why is there only one left now? What's really going on behind the magnificent stage and the smiles we've all seen? Question after question arises endlessly. There are discrepancies in every official statement. There is a mismatch between what HYBE says and what BTS members, especially Jungkook and Taehyung, show. And even more surprisingly, after the statement came out, Taehyung deleted a short post from his personal account, a black and white photo with a one-word caption. Why? Instantly, the fandom world caught fire. Social media is heating up. The fan base is split. Some try to calm down, some begin to speculate, and some cry because they feel cheated by the bitter reality. Could it be that their relationship is at its most fragile point? Of course, this was not the first time HYBE had made a unilateral decision. But this time, the center of attention is the two members who are most often referred to as soulmates by the army. Jungkook and Taehyung, who had always looked like two stars moving together in the same sky, now seemed separated by distance and something invisible. Jungkook himself looked different when he arrived in America. Her smile is not as sweet as usual. His eyes look blank in some of the circulating footage. In fact, while greeting fans at the airport, there was a strange pause before he waved, as if his mind was elsewhere. On the other hand, Taehyung doesn't appear anywhere. No story, no life, no existence. He disappeared from the public radar, and it caused the greatest fear among fans. Is this more than just a management decision? Is this the beginning of an emotional breakup that we did not expect? Over the years, fans have witnessed the incredible closeness between these two magne lines. From funny moments in variety shows, shared cries backstage, to meaningful messages in V-Lives and documentaries. But now, all of that feels like a memory that one party is trying to erase. And when HYBE came back with clarifications, which raised more questions than answers, things got even more blurry. We value the time and projects that each of our artists has. This decision is purely logistical, they said. But the public is not stupid. Fans know that a decision like this is impossible to make without lengthy discussions with related artists. So, does Taehyung agree? Did he choose not to come? Or is it forbidden? Even more surprising was how Taehyung reacted after the decision was announced. Several insiders revealed that he was seen leaving the rehearsal room earlier than usual, and according to an unnamed staffer, the rehearsal atmosphere before Jungkook's departure to the United States was filled with piercing tension. Jungkook didn't speak a word to anyone for several hours, while Taehyung kept his head down the entire time. I asked this all just a coincidence, and when fans started making long threads on Twitter and Korean forums about Jungkook and Taehyung's changing attitudes over the past few weeks, things started to make sense. Jungkook is seen more often alone, even in internal variety shows. Taehyung, who usually likes to tease Jungkook, looks more focused on his solo projects. Their once warm and natural interactions now feel awkward if not cold. Then came a surprising theory. Could it be that there was a personal dispute between the two that caused HYBE to separate their projects? This theory was reinforced by Jungkook's ambiguous message on Weverse shortly after his departure. Sometimes I wish everything could go back to the way it was. The sentence, although short, carries a tremendous emotional load. Especially when juxtaposed with Taehyung's caption, "Those memories can't be cured by time." HYBE himself seems to be trying to put out the fire before it gets bigger. They issued an additional statement that Jungkook's US project was part of a global plan and had been scheduled well in advance. However, when reporters asked why Taehyung did not participate, they only replied with one sentence that caused more speculation. It was a decision that involved a lot of consideration. A lot? Like what? When a former BTS manager who now works independently was asked about this, he replied, "Usually decisions like this don't happen if the two artists aren't in full agreement. So if one chooses to withdraw, there must be a personal reason." This statement reinforces the notion that something deeper is going on. The ARMY also began to dig into old moments, looking for signs of a rupture in their relationship. And they found it. Forced smile.
Blank stare.
Awkward pauses in the interview. Everything begins to become clear when it is rewatched with a new angle, that perhaps all this time we saw only what we wanted to believe, not what actually happened. And in the midst of that storm of speculation came one short clip that shook things up. In a leaked rehearsal documentary, Jungkook's conversation with the staffers is heard saying, "I can do it myself.
I'm used to it."
While behind him, Taehyung seemed to be about to enter the room, but gave up his intention and walked away. Fans freeze the frame, analyzing their body gestures, expressions, even their breathing. What exactly happened? Why can a relationship of two so close people change so quickly? Is this just a temporary misunderstanding, or are old wounds finally opening up again? No one can be sure, except themselves. But obviously, for the ARMY, this reality is much more painful than just a solo project. It's about the connection they've built with those two members. It's about hope that now feels like a piece of glass. And what hurts the most is a sense of helplessness to understand everything. Now all eyes are on Taehyung. Will it make a sound? Or did he just shut up like usual? And what about Jungkook? Will he still walk alone in America? Or will one day a hand hold him back? Only time can answer. But for now, one thing is certain. Jungkook and Taehyung's relationship isn't what we thought, and HYBE knows more than they tell her. If you think everything will go back to normal, wait until you know what happened the night before Jungkook leaves to see his family. It was that moment that now began to be in the spotlight, not because of a breakup, but because of something that was never shown to the public. That night, all the members were in the dorm for the last dinner together, but one of the delivery staff, who happened to be working with HYBE's catering subscription, admitted that something was very awkward. According to his confession, he was asked to deliver food only for 6 people, not 7. "I had to ask, why only 6 sets of meals? Usually 7 members. But Officer HYBE just kept quiet and said, Taehyung didn't come to dinner tonight." Surprisingly, a few hours later, fans discovered a story from a private account believed to belong to one of BTS's staff, showing the back of a person sitting on a dorm balcony with a black hoodie and a guitar on his lap. The caption? Just one sentence, "Waiting for someone who won't come." Is that Taehyung? The question only got bigger when fans realized that there wasn't a single official video or photo from the night. Jungkook's breakup was supposed to be a documented, emotional moment. We know BTS is not just an idol, they are a life story that is always visualized. But this time, everything was quiet. Even their usually intense and honest personal vlog has suddenly not appeared since that day. The next day, Jungkook left for the airport ahead of schedule. Not with a regular HYBE car, but with a plain black rental vehicle without a label. Only one person accompanied him. A familiar senior manager appeared in public extremely rarely. Why is it so closed? And why is Jungkook wearing a huge hat that covers almost his entire face? Not the style he usually wears when he wants to travel, especially when he knows paparazzi could be present, which makes it all feel more shaking, was the airport CCTV footage that leaked a few days later. In the 42-second video, Jungkook is seen getting out of the car and standing for a long time on the side of the vehicle. He stared at the road, as if waiting for someone, but no one came. He took a deep breath, bowed softly to the manager, and went inside. A few seconds before the airport door closed, he looked back. One more time, there's nobody. Are you waiting for Taehyung? And now we get to the most unbelievable part. Some fans found out that BTS' official digital calendar on Weverse briefly featured the private talk, V and JK, scheduled just a day before Jungkook's departure. But for some reason, within a few hours, the schedule disappeared completely, even from the system cache. Did that conversation really happen? Or is it cancelled unilaterally? If cancelled, who cancelled it? And more importantly, why? Another source, allegedly a former staffer of HYBE's international PR department, gave da. We return to the moment that triggered everything. That day, when Jungkook said goodbye to go see his family. A moment that should be simple, full of warmth, full of passion from the other members, but instead filled with an atmosphere that is so quiet and cold. Backstage, some of the staff described the atmosphere as suddenly frozen, and one of the lighting staff reportedly burst into tears after the moment ended.
But why?
What really happened in that silence? A former BTS documentary editor, who is now abroad, made an anonymous upload that went viral before being deleted. In the upload, he said that the footage of Jungkook's departure had actually been recorded very emotionally. There's even a scene where Taehyung is seen raising his hand to hug Jungkook, but stops his movements, takes a deep breath, and retreats slowly. Then go. Jungkook was silent. No hugs, no parting words, just a piercing, wounded look. Is it a form of misunderstanding? Or has something bigger happened before? Shockingly, there was one internal CCTV footage of HYBE's practice room leaked to the dark public last week. Although the video was deleted within 30 minutes, some fans managed to save screenshots. In the footage, two male figures can be seen sitting on the training floor at a distance of about 2 meters. One of them holds a drinking bottle and stares at the floor, while another figure leans against the wall with his hands on his head. At first glance, it is not clear who they are, but the voices heard in the video are very similar to those of Jungkook and Taehyung. What makes it all the more emotional is the sentence heard at the end of the video. If you keep going, I don't know what to do. I had to go, not because I wanted to, but because they told me so. Is this proof that their separation was not a personal whim, but rather pressure from the other side? Who are they in question? Is HYBE really separating the two for reasons we don't yet know? After the incident, some fans noticed that their interaction routine changed dramatically. Usually, Jungkook and Taehyung always appear together in light content such as BTS Gayo, Run BTS, or behind-the-scenes filming MVS. But after the last comeback, Taehyung is more often seen with Jimin or Namjoon, while Jungkook tends to appear alone, even in his solo projects. Some fans refer to this as forced silence. Even more suspiciously, in HYBE's scheduled radio interview, Taehyung suddenly canceled his attendance just hours before the broadcast, even though the session was originally designed to be a comeback duet special with Jungkook. The reason? Technical problems. But is that really all? Not long after the cancellation incident, Taehyung uploaded a story with a black background and white writing. Sometimes it's the people you trust the most. It's the one that keeps you quiet the longest. The story only lasted for 3 minutes before it was deleted, but it was enough to make the army uproar and ask each other, is Taehyung talking about Jungkook? Or is it about the management that has been considered to support it? Suspicion after suspicion continued to roll in, especially after one old photo appeared that was accidentally uploaded by one of HYBE's former trainees. The photo shows Jungkook and Taehyung sitting together on the roof of the HYBE building, looking like they're seriously talking about something. But what made netizens uproar was the writing under the photo that read, "Before everything changed." The photo was allegedly taken just 2 days before the official news that Jungkook would be on leave and meet his family abroad. And what is more surprising? The photo was re-uploaded by one of HYBE's official photographers with a caption, "Some stories are never told. Some bonds are too painful to explain." Is this the code of internal staff who feel they cannot speak directly? Do they regret the management decision that caused the emotional distance between two of ARMY's most beloved members? Meanwhile, in his latest live broadcast, Jungkook was silent for almost a minute when one of the ARMY wrote a question, "Do you miss Taehyung?" He just looked down, smiled a little, then said quietly, "You know, sometimes it's not so much about what we miss, but why we miss it." The sentence immediately went viral on various social media platforms, even becoming a trending topic on Twitter with the hashtag #WhyWeMiss. But then came a surprising statement from HYBE that refuted all these speculations. In his official statement, HYBE wrote, "There are no personal issues between BTS members. All issues circulating outside are the result of inaccurate public interpretation."